A ton of stuff happening not only in the UK, but around the world. Let's have a look at some of the headlines that are making their way around the country and internationally. Here's a little bit of it. The federal government will take a look at whether technology giants may be in violation of antitrust laws. Several reports citing anonymous sources this weekend in the Washington Post are saying the Department of Justice will be getting more involved in monitoring search behemoth Google with a DOJ review of parent company Alphabet's activities. The Post also says the Federal Trade Commission has an interest in checking into online retailer Amazon's market dominance. Some Washington lawmakers are concerned if big tech companies exert anti-competitive influence not only in the U.S., but on a global scale. Expansion in the U.S. economy is set to reach its 10-year mark this month. By July, it will become the nation's longest recovery on record. But risks are looming. Most notably, threats of tariff-driven trade wars with China, Mexico, and others could damage business, household, and investor confidence. A central bank mistake with interest rates is also a real threat. And because of the country's ballooning budget deficit, fiscal policy is in a weaker position to help through spending or big tax cuts if the economy becomes stressed. President Trump apparently wants the Federal Reserve to cut rates. Economists are projecting that uncertainty created by the administration's actions on tariffs will prompt the Fed to deliver on that. Mexico is weighing its options to respond to the threat of U.S. tariffs on all of its exports, including possible retaliations, according to senior officials. But they said they would rather convince the Trump administration that a negotiated solution is in the best interests of both countries. A Mexican delegation led by Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard is in Washington this week to meet with U.S. officials. And finally, the House Judiciary Committee is scheduling hearings on the report from Special Counsel Robert Mueller. The first hearing next week will focus on what the Democratic-led committee is calling presidential obstruction and other crimes. In a statement, New York Democrat Jerrold Nadler blamed the Trump administration for ongoing stonewalling and cover-ups. Nadler chairs the Judiciary Committee. He said it's Congress's job to pick up where Mueller left off. Longer than the series run of The Simpsons and Gunsmoke combined, we will absolutely never be done talking about the Mueller report. Your grandchildren's grandchildren will be giving their take on what politicians are trying to spin about the Mueller report. This is insane. We're doing this again in Washington. I don't know how our politicians and the public and the press don't have anything better to do. Yeah. But apparently we don't.